And we're live.
And we're live!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Morning Fantasy Nights. It's late. I'm watching the World Series out of the corner of my eye, but I'm still bringing that sweet content that you crave. With me after a little hiatus is the one and only Brandon Hughes.
That's peaches to you, sir.
Because, oh, my bad, Snake Commander. I'm going to start calling you...
Cobra Commander.
Yeah, I'm going to start calling you Snake Commander. We got that sweet, sweet fantasy nectar, guys. Viewer discretion is advised. Everything except the rankings are going to be improvised straight off the cuff tonight. So it could be awesome, or it could be really, really bad, like local improv groups. All right.
Do you remember those Abso shows? Probably going to be like one of those.
Yeah, Abso was no so good. I can't remember the name of the theater-based group on campus, but they're really good. So if you ever see those guys, go see those guys. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk about what happened last week. My recording last week was really, really shitty, and I don't want anyone to watch it because it sounded like I was talking through a potato. Like seriously, I mean, if you want to like subject your ears to literally audio torture, then you go right ahead. But for the most part, rankings didn't change all that much. I made some fun of some people. It really was just a show that I did because no one else heard it, so that was really fun. But enough about that week. Let's talk about what happened over the last couple of days, or the last set of games. Big news for the Snicks. They finally broke their 3-game losing streak. They beat Nathan Picorni's Dragonstone Dumpster Fires 99-93. You want to talk about that game?
Let me pull it up real quick because it's been such a long time since said game.
Okay, well, he's pulling that up. We'll do a quick roundabout of the other games. I'm not going to talk about them yet. I'm just going to talk about how they ended. Nick Jones beat Duck 96-87. Angie beat her boyfriend Brett Davis 116-89.
Oh, good lord!
Andrew and Mitchell had the shitty the shitty game of the week, scoring 83 points from the Inquisition and only 65 out of the double check discounts. Sorry, I got that backwards, everyone. And then myself, I was able to beat Delaney 87-69. So let's go a little in depth into these games, starting with the Snicks' victory over the Fires.
Yeah. So
wait, hang on, wait. Before we go, I just want to give out major props to Nathan's Lego-inspired dumpster fire photo. I am in love.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
It is. 2 thumbs way up, Nathan.
So with this game, I had the game easily in hand on a Sunday night with his quarterback and his kicker left to go. So I was like, this is going to be a breeze. I'm going to beat him by a lot of points. I was up big. Lo and behold, I go to check it on Monday. Or no, it was Tuesday. I go to check it on Tuesday because I didn't even check it Monday. I just assumed I'd win. And man, did Carson Wentz and his kicker put up a lot of points and almost scared the shit out of me because I looked and I saw a 9 on his first number when I first looked at it on Tuesday, and I was like, oh God, did he come back? So that was my little heart attack of the week, but I came out with the victory. So yeah, LaShawn McCoy finally did what he was supposed to do as drafted round 1 pick. So I'm happy about that.
Well, for the second straight week in a row, you got more than 10 points out of your kicker, Ryan Suckup.
This is a 3rd straight week because I did this week too. This won't be the 3rd straight week, but this week, week 8? Week 8 will be the 3rd straight week I get 10 or more points out of my kicker.
Damn, son. Kicking for days. Yeah, so like you said, Nate got 30 points out of Carson Wentz. The Philadelphia kicker also had 12 points. That was really the best he had. Jimmy Graham actually got some points. And some guy named Cooper Kupp. I have no idea who that is. I'm not gonna lie.
He was
Los Angeles wide receiver.
He was a wide receiver that got drafted this year by them.
Oh, okay. Well, he also had 11 points. So really, Nate's team was just carried by the Philadelphia offense. As per usual, whenever Nate starts Carlos Hyde does mediocre to okay, instead of crushing it like he does whenever he gets benched. So that's just one of those unfortunate things where you can't win. And then somehow AJ Green only got 4 points against the Pittsburgh defense. So I don't really know how that happens, but it did.
Lockdown defense right there.
Yeah, and then for Mr. Snake Commander, like you said, 22 points out of LaShawn McCoy. Drew Brees almost had 20 points, which for Drew Brees in years past would be kind of mediocre. For this year, it's actually really good for him.
Yeah, because Drew Brees is just not putting up the yards like he used to. He threw 2 interceptions this week. Yeah. That's not the Drew Brees I know. So hashtag not my quarterback.
Hell, he is right now. But that's all that needs to be said about that game. It was a close one because of the Monday night games. I don't really have anything else to add about this.
Let's move on to the Zoos game.
All right. So the Zoo Pizzazoos played the Concord Trash Pandas of Nathan Dulani. And even though I benched Amari Cooper and his 33 points, because fuck you Thursday night games, I hate them so much, and was unable to play Stephon Diggs because he got injured too, I still scored 87 points, and that was more than enough to beat the Trash Pandas, as they only scored the sex number. That's right, they got 69. Which I think is the second week in a row that a team I've been facing or myself have scored 69 points. I think I won with 69 last week, but I'm not entirely sure.
Week 6, Nick only scored 36 points?
Yeah.
Nick,
yeah.
I am sorry, man. Good God.
Yeah, he won the Gods Are Cursed reward because I scored all 60 points or whatever, and I still couldn't. And he still couldn't win. So for me, huge game out of Dak Prescott, 29 points. Julio Jones finally did something, scored a touchdown. So that was 15, and then the Green Bay running back had 19 points for me, which was more than enough to make up for the fact that Adam Vinatieri didn't see a single kick attempt the entire game against Jacksonville.
Let's just not talk about that Indiana-Jacksonville game. I know a lot of us are Indianapolis fans, but God, was that just a massacre?
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about it. The one shiny spot for Nathan was Kirk Cousins, 23 points, and Mark Ingram scoring 16. He didn't really leave a whole lot of points on the bench. I mean, his backup quarterback scored exactly as much as Kirk Cousins, and then he could have gotten a couple more points out of his defense, but not enough to make a difference. So this was pretty easily in hand. I mean, I was sweating it after not getting 33 points out of Amari Cooper, just because usually whenever you bench someone who scores that much, you end up losing. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the Knicks' total failures and C137's. See the Doc's C137. Look at me. So drastic improvement from the week prior. Nick went from scoring barely 30 points to scoring 96 this week. That's all on the back of Derek Carr, Latavius Murray, Brandon Cooks, and the Titans defense all scoring in the double digits or more. Nick still scored 96 points without even having one of his wide receivers because he got injured. And I'm assuming that was a in-game injury and not a mistake by Nick to not play somebody. Doc didn't do himself any favors. He didn't even go and pick up a defense. Or, no, it looks like he picked up a defense and then didn't play them. He has no defense for his team, but he's got 5 points from the Broncos defense on his bench, which not enough to change the game, but it would have added 5 more points and would have made the game a lot closer. So looking here, Doc, you really need to just put Greg Olson on our IR since he's in real life IR. And you know, it's just one of those weeks where he got bit by the bye. Just too many people on byes for him to do anything else. That is a grounder at first base. That's going to score a run. Okay, 5-2 in the top of the sixth.
I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this game. The big thing I see from it is that Adrian Peterson didn't produce this week, which is kind of surprising. Him being on like the first week he got to Arizona, he just absolutely killed it. He was primed to have, you know, when it came to this week, only getting 3 points out of Adrian Peterson really hurt Doc. So
yeah, for sure.
That might have to be reassessed if he's a starting material.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he still got good games out of Tom Brady and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, for Tom Brady, it was actually a mediocre day. But he got a pretty nice game out of Dez Bryant. I think maybe the best Dez has had all year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but not by it wasn't like some large margin. And he got solid outings from everybody else other than, like you said, AP. And his kicker went crazy with the 17 points. So that was that game. Looks like it was pretty close throughout. pretty stupid though to not play a defense, Doc. I mean, come on. I'd like to know the story behind that. Maybe we'll have him on at some point and really grill him about it. Moving on between the quarrel between lovers, that would be the Brett's Violators and Angie's My Best. Angie won this one handedly, 116-89. Brett got bit a little bit by the bye bug and also by the fact that his running back, Marshawn Lynch, was suspended in like the second quarter of the game before he scored any points for Brett. So that was real stupid on Marshawn's part. But otherwise, I mean, the Violators had multiple guys step up and play and do really well. But it wasn't enough, especially whenever Ezekiel Elliott scores 39 points.
See, this should be the big story right now. Is that what round was Ezekiel Elliott drafted in? She drafted him 46th. 46th. That's like getting Le'Veon Bell in the third round. That is a fucking gift from God. And every single week, it is paying in like just troves for Angie. She is starting Phillip Rivers as her quarterback. She should not be winning anything. Yes.
Yeah,
Ezekiel Elliott. Oh my gosh.
I completely agree with you. There's just the one thing where, we all know he was suspended. And it didn't look like anything was going to happen, and then randomly a court kind of stepped in and did their thing. And
see, she hasn't. This just reinforces her direct line to the fantasy gods.
Yeah, but then you look at the standings and you realize that line is clearly been broken somewhat. Ooh, that's a bad pitch, and that's a run. Wow, that was stupid. Sorry, World Series, everybody. It was really stupid. Speaking of stupid. Actually, that's not stupid. I'm sorry, Angie. I don't mean to call you stupid. The continuous which wide receiver should I fucking play merry-go-round keeps going for Angie. She played Demaryius Thomas this week, and he scored 0 points. Now this time it wasn't Emmanuel Sanders who had the big day, but Jarvis Landry from Miami who had 15 points and was on the bench. Not that it mattered because. Well, she still won with 116 because Ezekiel Elliott's 40-point cushion is going to help you win almost every week. If you lost with 39 points out of Ezekiel Elliott, you must have really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
There he goes, and got it. Wow. Oh, this is a game now. Finally, the double-check discounts of Andrew Campbell against Mitchell Davis's Inquisition. The Inquisition ended up on top. So remember last week, the namesake for the discounts went down with a just awful shoulder injury. But that didn't seem to phase Andrew much because Alex Smith still went out and scored 25 points. However, no one told the rest of his team that they should score more than 9. Literally every other part of his team scored just like jack shit, and it wasn't even like there was people on the bench to help out. It was just a bad week for his entire team, like top from bottom. So they could only muster 65 points. On the other side, Matt Ryan still scored 16 points in a loss to the New England Patriots. Antonio Brown was able to score 12, and the Jaguars defense, while creaming the Colts offense, scored 17, which almost by itself was enough to beat Andrew. But he got enough production everywhere else to score 83 points. Oh, fun fact about this game, okay? The Dallas Cowboys only scored 40 points. Dan Bailey, their kicker, scored 2. Now, if you do the math, that doesn't work out like at all. And that's because Dan Bailey got injured in the middle of that game and was unable to kick any of the extra points for the team. Who replaced him? A safety for the team kicked all the extra points and made them all. So maybe there's a hidden kicking gym out there, guys. And I have no idea how long Dan Bailey's going to be out. It was a groin injury, and that's really all I know. And I'm not going to bother looking it up because I just don't care enough. But I see on Mitch's bench, he does have the Kansas City kicker who scored 14 points last week. So he's not going to be hurting for a kicker, it doesn't seem. So that was last week's slate of games. They're pretty good. They weren't the last week. Most of the games were blowouts and not very competitive, so it always makes it a little bit more fun. So I'm going to move on to rankings. So I am going to tell you what the rankings were last week, just by saying what the last week ranking was. I'm not going to say 1 through 10 last week was this. I'm just going to say this team this week is this. Last week they were that. That's just because I don't want to go all the way through it. So starting from the bottom, Picorni was number 9 last week, and he has dropped down to number 10. That's because he's got the worst record in the league. And he's not really scoring all that many points. That dumpster fire is becoming more and more true. At number 9, raising up a spot, is Nick's Total Failures. It's hard not to raise a spot or go up a spot whenever you double the amount of points you had the week before. I mean, he had been scoring well. It's just that one week he scored 39 or 35 or whatever, and it was just really, really bad. Number 8 is Delaney, who moved down a spot from the number 7 spot. And number 7 is myself. I am 4-3 at the top of my division right now, tied for the top of my division. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I really don't belong there. I'm 8th in points scored. I am on a 3-game winning streak, and I really don't know how. I think for once in my sorry fantasy career, the gods are smiling just a little bit. In the 6th spot, or not the 6th, sorry, tied for 5th, is Peach Man, who was tied for 5th last week, and the Doc Man, who was actually in the second spot last week. However, Doc's loss really hurt him because he was right up there near the top of the league in the record, and now he's 3-4 instead of 4-3, or yeah, and he didn't really score all that many points, so that really hurt him. Angie's team stayed strong at number 4. She's got a really bad record considering that she scored the most points out of anyone else. But like as I've said almost every other week, I'm getting really tired of saying it, but it's still true. She's also getting the most amount of points being scored against her. I really don't want to put Andrew in the 3rd spot, but I really don't have a choice because he is 5-2. He scored, I believe he scored less points than me, but that might be wrong. But you know what? He's 5-2. no one else can take away from them, and those are going to start being more important. And then we actually have a tie for the #1 spot. The #1 spot belongs to the Davis family. The Spanish Inquisition and the Vatican City Violators are both up there. Like I said before, I've always been scared of the Inquisition. They just needed to figure out their bench stuff. They figured out the bench stuff, and now they're 5-2. On the other end is Brett's team, the Violators, who scored a shit ton of points. They just so happen to not have the greatest record. So that's the rankings for this week. You got any first takes on that, Mr. Snake Man?
Honestly, it's the only thing I would probably do is switch Angie and Andrew. Like, his win-loss, true, yes, it's 5-2, but Angie has the better team. Other than that, it looks pretty well. Yeah, as I said a ways back, Mitchell's team is just, oh my god. Him getting Deshaun Watson, isn't that who it is?
Yeah.
Him getting him off the waivers once he started to actually pick it up just cemented his team into insanely good, because Antonio Brown is always going to kill it. Now he has Deshaun Watson, which is like the last couple of games that Deshaun Watson's played in has been pretty much the second coming of Michael Vick, which is terrifying fantasy-wise. And, it's going to be hard to beat him. Same thing with his brother. Brett also has a great team. So I fully support the standings, except for Andrew being third. I think that Angie should probably be there, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's definitely one I have trouble with, just because, we're getting to the point where it is important that you have wins in the season.
Mm.
And, it's hard to decide, what's important, what's not, and also can you figure out if the gods are influencing a certain team or whatever. So we try to put that in the standings. For once, this is the first week that Andrew has scored a small amount of points, and he did not drag his competition down to his level. He still dragged the Inquisition down, but just not enough. So I'm going to go ahead and give out the awards. Cursed by the Gods is definitely going to have to go to the Dragonstone dumpster fires, because let's face it, kickers do not score 14 fucking points all that often. And yet, there he was, Ryan Suckup, second week in a row, with a shit ton of points. He even missed a field goal, and he still scored 14. And the game was a 6-point difference. It was a 6-point difference between winning and losing.
Mm.
So I'm gonna have to give the unlucky sumbitch to Dragonstone. So congrats, Nathan. So the lucky son of a bitch is gonna have to go to me. Mainly because I didn't start Amari Cooper and his 33 points, and yet somehow I still won with a mediocre score of 87. So, I consider that pretty lucky. Whenever I saw Amari Cooper score 33, I wasn't, going to second guess myself, because I had a bunch of reasons on why I didn't start him. But that didn't mean, I felt like I was in for a good week, because, like I said before, whenever you leave that many points on the bench, it's probably not going to be a good time. And then I haven't decided who wins the smartest play, because I hate looking for this award and I really want to change it. And I actually asked everyone to give me a new award to take that place. However, no one could hear me say that because the audio was so shit. So if you can hear this one, please suggest some different awards, because I really don't like the smartest play award. And I get 2 awards this week because none of the games are really close enough that anyone really fucked up with their benches. So that means I get the Brett Davis Award because I left 33 points on the bench. So let me type that up into the record. Nate Dumpster Fires. All right, and that is official. Like I said, this is an improvised one, so I did not write a whole bunch of shit like I usually do. Peaches, got anything you want? Excuse me, you want to talk about, or maybe you want to create your own award and give it away?
This is going to be the Peachiest Peach Award given out.
What the fuck is that? It always goes out to Peaches.
No, because I'm the Snacks, and Snacks are not peachy. No, the Peachiest Peach Award is awarded to the team that won their week, but Peaches says does not deserve to win that week. And that's this week gonna go to the Total Failures. Nick, you get the Peachiest Peach Award. That's just because Doc just has such a better team. And you got 13 points out of the goddamn Tennessee defense, so congrats on that one. Also, you played a guy who didn't play his defense. You're peachy.
All right, that's a fun little award that I'm sure will cause lots of happy thoughts. So looking up at this week's slate of games, we only have one, including this week. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks left. So
we're already halfway through the season.
Oh boy. So we've got the two of the worst teams playing each other, and Nick's Failures, and the Dumpster Fires are playing against the Failures. Which team is going to fail harder is the real question.
Is this the week that Picorni makes his big push?
No, I never count Picorni out. And then you have Doc's team going up against Delaney. Both teams are 3-4. However, Delaney is definitely looking a lot farther out of it in his own division, but that doesn't mean he's not out of it wild card wise. Myself, I am playing Angie. So you basically have a team that has a much better, or not a much better record because it's only one difference, but a better record in division at least. Who doesn't score a lot of points, going up against the team that scores a bunch of points but also gets scored on a lot. So it's really like an immovable force and that doesn't make any sense. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Yeah.
Kind of situations. The question is she going to, score a bunch of points and then not have someone score against her, or am I going to have her score but little amount of points and I'm going to score enough to get over the top? So that'll be fun. I already had one player go and I only got 5 points, but I actually thought that was a win since Baltimore did. No, I didn't think that was a win. Never mind. 5 points. I was really sad by that. Moving on. We have the two of the top teams in one of the divisions going up against each other. The 5-2 Andrew's team going up against Brett. So if Brett wins this, he would be once again atop the division tied, which would be really important going into these last couple weeks. And then finally, the Snicks are playing the Inquisition. So I forgot to. I guess I said that wrong. Brett would need Davis, the other Davis, to lose to be tied for the division lead. So I'm sure Snakes are a little bit quaking in their snake boots right now playing the Inquisition, huh?
I need to beat the Inquisition. Hardcore. It's not a debatable fact.
He's saying that because he knows it's debatable. But I will not rise to the occasion. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I need something to drink. My throat is dry, and I'm also really into this World Series game. So See y'all next week. And broadcast.